Hello, everybody. Welcome to Most Wanted Topics. I'm your host, Kevin the Tank. Along with me, Atomic Tommy per usual. Atomic Tommy, how you doing?
I'm doing great here at the new setup. Once again, it feels like we're changing setups all the time, but this time we got the new backdrop.
Yeah, we have a brand new setup, brand new backdrop.
Green screen.
Oh, no green screen here. We want to send out a shout out to Matt and Option 8 Design for
That's right.
a beautiful banger backdrop here that you're looking at right now. It is explosive with color. It is vibrant. It is alive, just like our show. Matt, you outdid yourself. Great job on our backdrop. We love it. Thank you, buddy.
That's right.
I tell you what, we are now back at our store in beautiful Bloomington, Minnesota. Most Wanted Comics is the name of the store. If you're visiting Minnesota, we highly recommend you check it out at 3701 West Old Shakopee Road here in Bloomington, right on the cross street of France and Old Shakopee Road. We love it.
Yes, we do.
New space. We have to wrap up an awesome signing we had with the veteran pro, legendary artist, in my opinion. He is the great one, Paul Peltier.
Yes.
He was here in the new studio. He was signing autographs. He was doing sketch covers. He had so many sketch cover requests that he didn't even finish them all that day. He has a list to do of homework. So he's doing homework as we speak. He is at home doing awesome sketch covers for the people that have to wait patiently, and he's going to mail them back. But just what a day. He had some great original art too. Pages from G.I. Joe.
Yes.
Pages from Aquaman. Pages from his TMNT San Diego Comic-Con exclusive comic they did. I didn't know what a great Turtles drawer he was.
No, I didn't even know he did Turtles until he showed us the.
Yeah, so this was a comic. Outstanding. Highly recommend if you need to get pages from him. He is his penciling is very tight, is very, very detailed. You will love his original art if you get a chance to purchase it. I highly recommend it. Paul Peltier, thank you for coming to the great state of Minnesota.
Thank you.
A second appearance for us. I had him in my old show Comic Cart over 10 years ago.
Time flies.
Time flies. I can't believe it had been that long since he's been here.
Yeah.
And so, people took advantage of it. So thank you. And thank you. We have the greatest customers in the world.
We do.
Thank you to everyone who came out. It was a lot of fun to see all our customers come out and support our events. Now, we have a new event coming this weekend on Saturday, the 16th. Lance Guest. You'll know him from the movie The Last Starfighter, Jaws 4, Halloween 2, to name a few of them. He's done other movies, but those are the big three that I know him from and from my fandom. So I hope you're looking forward to meet him. All the details are mostwantedcomics.com and also on Facebook. And hey, if you like what you see, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We like to have more followers. And now let's get to it. Atomic Tommy, we have to go back around. We promised our guests a review of the National. We touched on it last week when I got to meet my favorite quarterback, Jim Kelly.
Yes.
Let's get some of your take on the National.
You know, I thought it was a very interesting show. Obviously, I've been going to and from different comic conventions for the last 10 or so years of my life, which is over half my life. And I can confidently say that I don't think I've ever been to a show like the National. I mean, the scale of that show, the floor layout. I mean, I've never been to San Diego Comic-Con, but I can kind of say that it felt like the San Diego of card shows. Just given that half of the show floor was like promotional branding for different apps and different sponsors and auctions, a huge portion of the show floor was for auctions, which I've never really experienced before. That's something you really only see, for comics at least, at a San Diego. I mean, of course, you
forget how many auction sites there really are out there, and auction houses, and what cool stuff they do have.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, none of it you can buy or afford, but it's there, and it's cool to look at, and that's for a lot of the auction sites what it's all about. And honestly, just the scale of how expensive the product was incredibly telling to me. I don't want to make it. There were, $5 boxes, $1 boxes. There were bargain bins there, but right next to the bargain bins was your $17,000 Caitlin Clark card, and all of a sudden you just kind of feel like, why am I digging through the bargain boxes?
I didn't see any dollar bins.
There were a few.
I didn't see
were a
many.
few.
If there were, I didn't see many. But I tell you what, I did realize we're going to be marking up everything in our store at least 75%, so we can afford to go to the national.
And well, yeah.
Just kidding, customers. We are not going to do that.
One of the things that I saw, and people have been talking about this in cards in general for a long time, is the price matching and the looking the cards up, the comping as they call it, looking the cards up while you're buying it. And don't get me wrong. I think it's very fair, very needed at times to look things up when you're buying them to make sure you're getting it for a fair price. No problem with that. But that was like every time I saw somebody buy a card, they were like looking it up, and if it didn't match what it said on their phone, they were demanding a lower price. Which I don't really see that at comic shows. It's not really how it works at comic shows. Obviously, some people are overpriced, but you just don't buy it from them. I think the thing that you see at comic book shows versus card shows is at comic shows, you get a lot of vendors with the same product. I mean, if you walk around a comic book show, you could count.
You could find 10
infinite
New
number,
Mutants on the walls of people.
You could find hundreds of Secret Wars 8s, hundreds of New Mutants 98s. So the it's just a very competitive market there. Everybody has the same books at a card show. Everybody kind of has a different selection of cards. Everybody has a different parallel. Everybody has different prisms. Everybody has different numbers. So it's different, which is why it's important to make sure you're not overpaying. But the other element to this is vendors are paying so much for product that the prices are so astronomically high. I mean, in comics, there's just agreed upon values of what dealers and vendors pay for product. I mean, it's really anywhere, depending on what it is, from 30 to 70%, right? For cards, people walk up expecting like 80 to 85%.
And you also don't know what that vendor paid for their product.
Well,
they have to mark it up a little bit. But here's a nice analogy. In our store, okay, we carry Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And, every little realtor, we call them realtors because they act like they're comping houses in the market, what's on the block, which it's not even close. The market the comps don't always reflect what the real marketplace prices of a card, because you're not on a street. You don't have 10 houses on that block. Okay, so let's say we carry Destined Rivals, okay? We sell through the first wave of Destined Rivals. We get a restock. Now, TCG Player has a pack of Destined Rivals at $7 or whatever.
Yeah.
However, the distributor doesn't see, and they don't care what TCG Player has for the market price.
Right.
If they're selling it to us, we have to sell our pack at $8 and not $7.
Yeah.
So then he gets some kickback. Well, I will only pay $7 per pack because TCG Player says it's $7 and you're overpriced. Well, no, we're not overpriced. This is what we paid for it. We're entitled to make a profit.
Yeah.
We're not marking it up 1,000%. We're just making a little, but we have to make a profit to cover our costs to carry the product and to keep the store open. So the people coming in have to understand too that it's a give and take a little bit. As long as you're close to around that. But it is funny how these people are like on their phone there is just no give or take. They have to be exact.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work that way,
And going back, I mean, a lot of what I saw was overpriced.
Sure.
At the show. But again, and what I was getting at before was these big influencers on YouTube, all these big card people on YouTube, they're all paying 80 to 85% for the product they buy. And what that creates is it creates a standard, because those influencers are the people driving the card market, influencing it the most.
Yep.
So they can somehow they can buy product for 80 to 85%. Maybe they can flip it fast. They know somebody. They have all these different outlooks, whatever. But you go to a card show, and all of a sudden, these other vendors that are starting to pay that much, especially the ones that don't have brick and mortar locations. So now all of these vendors are paying 80 to 85%. Well, some of them can't turn it around as fast. And cards, as everybody should know, are extremely volatile. I mean, they'll drop 50% value overnight.
Yeah.
So now here's a card you're sitting on that you bought for 80% of its value, and now it dropped 50% and you're way overpriced, and you can't drop to whatever the comp price is, because then you just be losing money. So the standard that's been created with buying cards, I think, is really problematic for that hobby. And I think that was very much reflected at the National, just given how massively high the prices were for a lot of stuff. And a lot of them just can't, a lot of them can't change. Some of them do, but a lot of them can't. And it was a fun selection, fun stuff to look at. But dude, I you can buy a car or you can buy this Caitlin Clark card.
Yeah, 17,000 for a Caitlin.
It's
Clark.
like, yeah,
I get it, but she hasn't done anything yet. 17,000.
Well, that's right. It's so inflated. And
she's
high
not in the Hall of Fame yet.
In general.
Okay, I mean, she's great. She's perfect. I like while she came in, but she hasn't won a world championship yet, and she's not in the Hall of Fame yet. So I can't justify that card being that expensive yet. You know,
I guess it was just a different kind of collector than what I'm used to seeing. I mean, the card collectors and comic collectors.
Well, the constant trading up too
are not the same.
I just don't know if it's always a moral thing too. Are you trying to trade up and trying to hurt the vendor too, or is it both ways?
There is a serious conversation we had about the people who try to do the trade ups.
Yeah.
If that would never fly with me at a show, if somebody tried it, that would never fly with me. It was just such a different experience. It was a fun experience, but it was very different, and I'm not sure I would go back. Obviously they're in Chicago in the next couple of years, and they're going to be in Detroit in 2028. And I've heard some people say that maybe it'll outgrow Chicago, and they'll need a bigger spot.
Well, they definitely were putting people. There was a concession stand that was made into a booth.
Yeah,
I mean, they had so many vendors and so much product, but I would go back to do it again but I do realize I don't make enough money to play in the serious pool.
Yeah.
But there was just some cool stuff I do want to save for.
Yeah.
And try. There was some really cool historical stuff. I mean, to see just all the different signatures of historical figures and great players like Babe Ruth and all that. It's like,
that either.
You know, it is unbelievable the Americana history in that room.
Yes.
And to own a piece of that would be cool to buy and have it, so I think I would go back and try it again. But man, what an experience that was. And yeah, I think you may not go back. I may go back, it depends. But yeah, I got to meet Jim Kelly, so I'm fine if I do or don't.
Yeah.
So it was a special experience for me.
I mean, that would be the only way. I mean, I probably would, is if there's a really cool athlete there, because that part of the show was a lot of fun. It was run a little bit differently than it's usually run at a comic convention, but it overall was well organized, well laid out, went smoothly all around. And it was, for you, I know it was a very fun experience. So I would go back probably for another cool athlete, unless their price is super high, which definitely happens too. But
yeah, I like how they organized the lines, because they did something different at Comic-Con. It wasn't just a free-for-all wait with a pass to go online. Yeah. They called, okay, VIPs and front priority, you can go. You got in line and got that done. And then they numbers 100 through 70 line up, and they took them in small groups. And then you wait in line and got it done. And I thought that was more efficient than how they do it at Comic-Con. So nothing got out of hand. You weren't blocking aisles.
Yeah.
There was a main foyer area where everyone was just kind of gathered, and it wasn't overcrowded. And then when they called the numbers that you were in, you went and then waited in line for that signature if you were in that group. And I thought that was well played and well organized. It was a great idea. Comic-Con should take note.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the other factor is there's a difference between the autograph purchaser at a card show, we found out, that at a Comic-Con, because there's more true fandom at a Comic-Con than at a card show, because let's take, for example, there were not that many people that did the photo op.
Yeah, for the Jim Kelly line.
So I got to take advantage and have my time, because the people that were online were all resellers. They could have cared less about talking to him, meeting him. They didn't even look at the guy. They had purchased 6 or 7 autographs from him, and they're like, here's my pile, sign it so I can go resell it. Me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm meeting my idol. Yeah. Thank you for signing this. And he took the time, he even signed my hat. I'm not reselling that. That's mine now. That's a piece for me. So I think you get a lot more of that fandom at the Comic-Con too, because they want the photo op. They want to talk to it's a nostalgic thing. Yeah. And the autograph, they're not going to go, hey, Mr. So-and-so, I need 10 of these so I can rehawk it on eBay. You know, it's pretty cool.
The other element to that too, and maybe I'm wrong about this, I don't know for sure how it was for everybody, but I don't think most of them were doing table selfies, which is something that is very common at comic shows. And what the table selfies allow for are brief interactions and a less expensive photo. More people go the table selfie route than the photo op route, although photo ops do get a large crowd at comic shows. The table selfie is an awesome option that really I don't think was offered much here.
It wasn't. They just moved you through the sign.
Yeah, it's really just signatures and the photo op. And not everybody wants the big professional $160 photo op when at the convention you can do the $60 table selfie, you know? So it's a layer that it's missing, I think. And I don't know if that's on the talent end or if that's on the show the host end, if that's on the agency that was organizing it, because sometimes it can go either way. I mean, a lot of the times the talent just doesn't want to do it, but sometimes it's, well, we got to get moving people through, so we're not going to do it, you know?
Yeah. Hey, I think we had some good takes there.
Yeah,
that was hey great. If you think we missed something, you're entitled to your opinion. Let us know what you think. We're curious to know what you think about all that stuff versus a Comic-Con versus a card show. Anyway, let us know your thoughts, opinions. Let's move on now. Atomic Tommy, isn't there a comic we need to talk about this week?
Oh, there is. We need to talk about Daredevil: Cold Day in Hell, number 3, easily. The end of the series, by the way, I have to mention that it is the end of the series, and I know it's a little preliminary. We'll have to wait to the end of the year, but it will be on the best comics of 2025 list. I'm starting to kind of format that. You know, we're over halfway into the year. We're getting there, and that will 100% be on the list. What an incredible Daredevil story series. That kind of strays away from a lot of what modern Daredevil comics are doing. A breath of fresh air. Listen, I'm a fan. I like the current Daredevil run. It's fine, but this is a breath of fresh air from that. Brings some core Daredevil themes back in an interesting way. Is a really fun take on the dystopian type setting, which has been prevalent in Marvel for a very long time. And they are no stranger to it, but Daredevil and this story works really well there. So just, at this point, wait for the trade. It will be out in a couple of months. It's an awesome read back to back to back. I recommend it in the trade, actually, over the single issues. Wait for that. Pick it up. You will not be disappointed. That book was incredible.
Yeah, and takeaway from this week, the Absolute Batman trade paperback came out.
Yes, it did.
That was a hot seller this week.
That was a hot seller.
That Absolute's still tearing it up. I can't believe it. The staying power is unbelievable.
I would be 100% shocked if I do not include Absolute Batman in the top comics of 2025 list, even though it came out last year. I'd like to try and keep that list. I like to try and keep that list to things that release in 2020, in the year in question, but Absolute Batman is so good. It's almost impossible if it doesn't make it in there despite it coming out last year.
Cool. You know what it's time for now?
Shout out.
Shout outs! It's time for our shout out list. We want to start out by saying, Matt and JD, shout out to you guys. We appreciate your support out there. Dan, the amazing Spider-Man fan and soon to be new producer of this show. We got to tell you what, awesome shout out to you, buddy. Jamie, shout out to you. Lucy, shout out to you, girl. We love having your support out there. We appreciate it very much. Mark, and hi, Mark, Aquaman fan. Jeff, Ryan, Jim, Brian, Sydney, Jeff. Hey, Melissa, Rick, the Gostovich family. The Dwyer family. I tell you what, there's just unbelievable. Sheila, Larry, and Caleb. We just want to say a special shout out to you guys this week. If you want to be on the shout out list, make sure you email us or text us and let us know. We'll be happy to do it. Hey, we're in the new studio. We'll be coming at you next week from the new studio. We'll have a wrap up of Lance Guest. Make sure to go to our website, Instagram, and Facebook and follow all the updates and some more announcements next week on future guests. Take it easy, everybody.